Welcome back. Members of the Economic Freedom Fighters say they have come to their they've come in their numbers to receive a message of hope from their leader Julius Malema. They say they want to hear what his plans are to avert the current economic situation in the country that is riddled with unemployment and beset by rolling blackouts. Hundreds of EFF supporters have already made their way to the Dr. Rantlai Petrus Molemela Stadium, where Malema is expected to speak at midday. SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga joins us for a live report. Good day to you, Kenny. Thank you for your time. So what's the latest coming out of Free State this morning?
Good afternoon to you, Polisi, and the viewers at home. Of course, it's a hive of activity here in Mangaung as the EFF has chosen to bring their 9-year anniversary celebrations to the province of the Free State. They've centered themselves around these objectives of economic freedom in our lifetime, the nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors. You may remember earlier this morning we did share a preview of when Julius Malema launched this protest movement in July of 2013. Someone who flanked him as he joined that was Miss Leigh-Ann Mathys. She joins me right now. She later became the Treasurer General as they headed to elections in 2014. And she's here to reflect with us about this party making it to close a decade and now enjoying 44 seats in Parliament, cementing it as the third biggest party in the country. Leigh, thank you so much for joining us. You were there, a young Leigh-Ann Mathys, when this protest movement, it was described as a protest movement rather, it was launched in July of 2013. There were a lot of naysayers. Could you have ever imagined that you'd be here today, 44 seats in Parliament, you've seen growth across provinces such as KZN, and you continue to grow as a party and you hope to even get more supporters come 2024?
Well, yeah, we've been growing from strength to strength. Listen, I don't think we necessarily sat down and had planned that by 2022 we are going to be filling up stadiums. But there was just a passion that everybody in the founding group of members had, that we needed to push and that we needed to fight for economic freedom in our lifetime. Obviously, we didn't spend all our time and energy, and literally it was blood, sweat and tears. When I say we had nothing, we had nothing. And the fact that we are here today is a massive story that many people don't know. We didn't have money to register ourselves as a political party. How we got register, forget registering to contest elections, we're saying to actually register at the IEC. We get in our offices, our first set of offices. We did that just solely through selling berets. So it's a wonderful feeling that we are here today. We always tell our new members that have joined, especially the Central Command team, and share our stories of how we had to crisscross across provinces with literally nothing, no petrol, no food. We were exchanging war stories the other night of how we would almost have to drive 20 kilometers or buy a loaf of bread. We used to have meetings and buy a bucket of KFC and have to share it. So we've come a long way. We are very, very proud of all the work that we've done as EFF.
And Leigh, we were chatting earlier, we were referring to you as one of the day ones of the EFF. Just talk to us a bit about how you ended up joining the EFF. You weren't in the political arena before. That was the first time you stepped in, and you ended up becoming TG. How did this journey begin with the EFF?
So we started the journey together with the EFF, but it immediately after Marikana happened. Marikana touched a space personally, a space in me that I needed to move out of the whole NGO space because we're always going around begging for crumbs, and we needed political action. At that time, President CIC, they were busy in Marikana and helping the Marikana victims. So I reached out to a mutual friend, and I wanted to be part of being able to assist in that regard. So EFF, we were just talking economic freedom in our lifetime, but there wasn't talk that, okay, we're going to start a political party. So I remember our first conversation, I was like, yo, this one is going to think I'm some agent or something. You can hear my accent here. And true enough, that's exactly what he thought. So I had to call the mutual friend back and I'm like, yo, please tell him that I'm not an agent. And the rest is history, and we are here today and we built a very powerful movement together. together, not just myself, but there's a lot of founding members, Komi Stefana, that's no longer in the CCT, but he remains with us, that built this organization.
There are many of the EFF's objectives that citizens and members of society have resonated with, but there are others that form the subject of critique, such as open borders, for example. We've just seen this incident in Krugersdorp that was reported of the alleged rape of women that were participating in a music video shoot. The suspects that have been fingered in this incident are Basotho nationals. What are your thoughts on this and some of the critiques that the EFF has received on its open border, for lack of a better term, policy?
This subject is so exhausting that we are still at this in 2022, that we still appropriate crime to Africans. Open border policies got nothing to do with criminality. Crime happens all over, and so once we start saying as soon as a particular nationality is identified as criminals, then we appropriate all Africans as criminals, it's not correct. So we also just need to reconscientize ourselves as Africans. It's such self-hate that we are still asking those same questions. The whole of Europe is an open policy. They travel between countries, they work wherever they want, but no one says anything. But as soon as we want to do it here in Africa, we are branded that Africans can't work together, we can't live together, we are all criminals. And this is the biggest agenda, and I wish us as Africans can start internalizing that we suffer from so much self-hate, that any time an African messes up, it becomes like we appropriate lawlessness and criminality just to Africans. We have Bedford View that are full of European criminals. We have Chinatown that are full of Chinese criminals. And when those things go down, nothing happens. They pay off the police, they pay off judges, they pay off everything. But as soon as it's Africans, we have this outrage. Africa is never ever going to unite if we continue having the self-hate that we have. Criminality is criminality. Are there African criminals? Yes. Are there European criminals? Yes. It's a human thing. It's not an African thing, and we must move away from that. So as the EFF, we start the party. Our founding manifesto is very clear on our agenda about Pan-Africanism, and we always have been, so nobody must act shocked. It means that you've never read our founding manifesto. We are very clear, and the reason we need to be united as Africa is so that we can release ourselves from the burden of poverty. We cannot be the richest continent in the world and be so poor. So the divide and conquer of Africa remains, because we continue dividing and conquering, and now we're even fighting these battles on behalf of imperialism.
And what does the future look like for the EFF? I mean, just heading to 2024, your leader, Julius Malema, has never been shy about his ambitions to become president. What do you see? You've been here from the very beginning. What does the future look like for the EFF just immediately in 2024 when we head to elections?
The future always looks bright for the EFF. Obviously, we're going to go in there and be contesting full power. We have the year of the branch this year. Our goal is 1 million membership, and the 1 million membership is not just about membership, it's about activism. We want activists on the ground, which is going to feed into us being able to build a strong electoral system and being able to take over government and be able to provide economic freedom to our people in South Africa, and not the ANC light version of it.
Thank you so much. That was Leigh-Ann Mathys, who is one of the founding members of the EFF, just sharing her thoughts ahead of this 9-year anniversary. We expect that the program to kick off with a keynote address, will happen a bit shortly after 12. We understand that EFF leader Julius Malema has not arrived yet, but they have started with a program of musical items, and some guests have started to stream into the stadium. We'll continue to update you. SABC will be here for that keynote address by Julius Malema when it takes place. Over to you in studio, Polisi.
Canny Maphanga, thank you very much indeed for that update. Of course, it's coming to us live from the Free State there.